Have you ever wondered whether your past lives influence your present spiritual path? Have you considered how even serious practitioners in past incarnations might forget their purpose in this life? Welcome back, dear seekers. It's a blessing to have you here once more as we dive into one of the most mysterious and humbling subjects of the spiritual journey, the deeper truths of reincarnation and the hidden karmic currents that shape our lives. Today, we'll unfold the stories of 4 individuals who, in their past lives, were committed monks, diligent, disciplined, devout, and yet, in their rebirth, forgot their vows, their path, and their deeper purpose. These stories are not shared to invoke fear or superstition. They are shared to remind us of the complexity of spiritual evolution and the subtle forces that guide, delay, or redirect our path across lifetimes. More importantly, they offer us lessons in vigilance, humility, and the importance of inner transformation over outer form. Let us begin with the first story, a young man named Chen, who, as a child, recalled intricate memories of a monastery he had never visited. He described the layout of a temple in detail, identified monks by name, and even described a small garden behind the main hall, unseen by the public. Investigations revealed that all his recollections were accurate. In a previous life, Shen had been a dedicated monk who practiced every day and spent his final years in deep solitude. And yet, in this life, despite his early spiritual signs, Shen felt no desire to return to monastic life. He pursued a worldly career, married, and never revisited the path that had once defined his existence. Why did this happen? Was his previous effort in vain? What can we learn from this karmic shift? The second story comes from a mountain village where an elderly man recalled having lived as a strict disciplinarian monk. He had followed every rule to perfection. But when he reincarnated, his life was riddled with anger, resentment, and an aversion to spiritual discussions. He had a strange disdain for temples, despite having served in one for decades in his past life. A visiting monk once engaged him in conversation and gently pointed out that his previous practice, though intense, might have lacked warmth, lacked heart. Perhaps his devotion had been external, ritualistic, but internally dry. The third story is of a young woman, unusually quiet and introspective, who developed spontaneous abilities to chant complex mantras she had never studied. Her parents, confused and awed, sought help from spiritual elders. It was revealed through meditation and inquiry that she had been a learned monk in a former life, well versed in scripture. But in this life, she expressed no wish to return to monasticism. She was drawn instead to music and poetry. Though she retained knowledge, the direction of her soul had changed. And the fourth story is perhaps the most poignant. A man named Tang, a devout Buddhist in his previous incarnation, had sworn never to abandon the path, yet in his next life, he actively opposed spiritual traditions. He became a vocal critic of religion. But deep inside, he experienced recurring dreams, visions of robes, incense, bells, and teachings that he both feared and longed for. His anger, it turned out, was not hatred, but unprocessed spiritual trauma. He had died feeling unfulfilled, and that confusion had carried over into his rebirth. These 4 stories seem disparate, but they reveal a shared truth. External commitment, no matter how intense, does not guarantee internal transformation. Spiritual practice must reach the depth of being, not just actions, but the soul. The path of liberation is not achieved through appearances. It is carved into the heart through sincerity, humility, and genuine letting go. Let's unpack these lessons. First, we see that spiritual vows made in one life do not automatically carry over. The soul retains tendencies, impressions, samskaras, but the direction of each new life depends on countless factors: intentions, attachments, the moment of death, unresolved karma, and the freedom of choice in each new incarnation. It is tempting to romanticize past lives, thinking that if one was a monk before this life should naturally continue the trajectory. But evolution is not linear. It is spiral, unpredictable, subtle. Even a great practitioner can fall into confusion. Even a confused soul can awaken unexpectedly. Second, these stories teach us the danger of pride and complacency. When we believe we've done enough spiritually, we become vulnerable. The ego can latch onto spiritual identity as a final mask. I was a monk. I chanted for decades. I have past life memories. And none of this replaces present moment presence. Each life is a fresh field. The seeds of awakening must be planted again with mindfulness, compassion, discipline, and devotion. You cannot harvest crops in this life from the prayers of your past if you no longer cultivate the soul. Third, these reincarnations reveal the importance of integrating both form and essence. In several stories, the monks followed rules with intensity, but lacked heart. There was austerity, but no softness. There was control, but no compassion. There was obedience, but no joy. True practice must balance discipline and love, wisdom and heart, silence and expression. When we overemphasize rules at the expense of connection, the soul remembers not the joy of practice, but the burden. That memory can lead to avoidance in the next life. So how do we apply these lessons today? Start by asking, why do I practice? Is it for peace, enlightenment, escape, approval, legacy? Then ask, do I embody what I practice? Does my devotion touch others? Does my meditation bring clarity or just silence? Do my prayers open my heart? Reincarnation is not punishment. It is the canvas upon which your soul paints its learning. Each stroke matters. Each life is a classroom. Whether you wear robes or not, chant or not, teach or not, what matters is the sincerity of your search, the depth of your surrender. One of the great misunderstandings of the spiritual path is that it's all about reaching the destination. But as these stories show, even those who've reached the gates of monasteries in one life might wander away in another. It is not the destination that ensures liberation, it is the transformation that occurs as you walk. Even if you were a monk in a past life, it doesn't guarantee awakening. Even if you're lost now, it doesn't mean you weren't once close. The only moment that holds power is this one. What are you doing now? What are you cultivating? What are you releasing? The wind of karma blows from many directions, but your present awareness is your sail. Steer it well. Thank you for watching this video. If these stories stirred something within you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's grow this community of wisdom seekers together. Subscribe, like, and support our channel so we can continue to dive into the mysteries that shape our soul's journey. Until next time, live with presence, practice with love, and walk the path with courage.